So we're in part 1 of our new launch project series where we talk about cluster housing, and project number 1 that was in the first episode, we talk about riverfront residences. So today we're going to Affinity at Serangoon. Let's go. Once, or level 2, you actually have height advantage. Based on your current property portfolio, what is the level of risk? Alright, so we're going to Affinity at Serangoon right now. So if you have seen the previous review on riverfront residences in terms of the Strata units, this is now the second portion that we're diving into some of the District 19 launches with balanced Strata units available directly from the developers. So Affinity is also by the same developer as riverfront residences. Affinity Strata houses, they give you a skylit interior and generously sized living area and master bedroom. We think that has prompted a flurry of buyers in recent months, especially with the choicier Strata landed units have already been snapped up. Location, of course, we have done an entire review of the whole project at Affinity at Serangoon in the year 2019. This is at Serangoon North. 99 years, starting from 18 May 2018. Expected TOP is also at about the tail end of 2024, or it could be earlier. In totality, 1,052 units within the entire condo development with 40 Strata landed homes. So the Strata landed type, these are all terrace houses. They range from 2,303 square feet to 2,347 square feet. So there are only 5-bedroom unit types left. So the balanced Strata landed pricing, it ranged from about 2.825 million to about 3.16 5 million, and of course in terms of maintenance fee, that's pretty reasonable. For the 4-bedroom is about $288 per month. 5-bedroom type Strata is about $324 per month. So of course a lot of people are looking forward towards the Serangoon North Cross Island line that is opening in about 8 years time. Of course that's still quite some time to go, but it's good to know that there's something potential coming up. Usually people would look for here, they are going for schools as well, which is within 1 kilometer from Roadside and Zhonghua Primary School. So we previously did an in-depth review of Affinity, and Affinity has a higher than usual number of Strata landed homes, which is at 40 units as part of a unit mix. This project is also one of the 2 large-size condominiums of more than 1,000 units to offer Strata landed homes after riverfront residences. The main draw of Affinity is its location within the matured town of Serangoon in District 19, while the development 9-minute drive away from Serangoon Central, where the MRT interchange and next shopping mall is located. This project is well within a kilometer to Roadside, which is a highly regarded primary school, and of course it's also close to the French school plus the Serangoon Garden Lifestyle Enclave. So right now in 2021, we think that Affinity at Serangoon, it strikes a balance between the present value and upside based on how things are moving in the pure landed market, and of course inside the cluster homes that is in the resale market. We'll share more about pricing later. For the Strata landed homes here, they take the form of 2- and 3-story homes with 4- or 5-bedroom unit configurations, and of course at the time of filming this, more than 60% of the project's 40 Strata landed homes have already been sold, and our review analysis is based on the balanced remaining units. So the Strata units, they are located towards the southern side of the project. Take note that all the Strata terrace units that are facing the main swimming pool, they have been sold already. The remainder units are located along the southern perimeter of the condominium. Remainder balance units are also separated into 2 rows of terraces, namely the southwest row, which is number 10 to 16A. That consists of 8 terrace homes located on the southwest corner of the condominium site, and they qualify as north-south facing as well. Unit number 10 has already been sold. 10A together with 10 are the 2 units that are closest to Serangoon North Avenue 1. Serangoon North Avenue 1 is a relatively quiet street that runs both directions in a single lane. The single gate near number 10 provides residents pedestrian access to the bus stop that's right outside the condo as well. So in terms of the southeast row, which is number 46 to 64, that consists of 19 terrace homes located along the southeastern perimeter of the condo site, and they are more towards the northwest, southeast kind of facing. So towards 64, which is the southeastern corner of the entire condo site, the Strata terraces gradually get a little bit nearer to the 3-lane Yio Chu Kang Road as well. So the corner terrace, number 64, is about 27 meters from Yio Chu Kang Road. There will also be a side gate to Yio Chu Kang Road nearer to this particular unit at 64 as well. So moving to the opposite end, which is number 46, the units are then increasingly separated from Yio Chu Kang Road by distance as well as a well-positioned buffer of an existing landed housing cluster. So that being said, if you are looking at Strata units here, you should be aware of the kids' playground as well, and that is near to number 46 and 46A. So units at 52A to 64, they will have rear facades that open up to a 67 meters long sanctuary pool, and of course that's beautiful. And that's about 7 meters away from the opposite row of Strata terrace units. There will be 7 units, which is number 46 to 52, that do not directly face the sanctuary pool, as this will have a semi-enclosed area called the sanctuary lawn right outside their rear facades. By the way, these units are already sold out. So when it comes to sun exposure, the northwest, southeast kind of orientation of the southeast row of the Strata terraces here means that these units will receive angled exposure to the afternoon sun, usually in the months of March to September every year. And of course, the greatest exposure of afternoon sun usually happens between June and July. That being said, units number 46 to 54, they will receive a good amount of shielding from the afternoon sun, courtesy of course of the 14-story residential block and block 20 that blocks up most of it. Furthermore, the units are laid out in such a way that the living room and master room, they will have a more southeastern exposure and they will not be exposed to the afternoon sun. So in terms of views, the balanced Strata units here, I think it offers buyers some food for thought. So some of the balanced units, the southeastern row, number 10 to 16A. So the main facade of the units in this row are orientated facing south towards the perimeter of the condo. The view over the perimeter wall, which is possible from the second story of the Strata terrace, is currently unblocked because the adjacent land is currently a large open field. So of course, take note that the ground level within the condominium, where the southwest row of Strata terraces is located, is about 1.5 stories. That is 1.5 stories beneath the street level of Serangoon North Avenue 1. And of course, the open field to the south, making the entire row of terraces appear like single-story buildings from the exterior. So something for you to take note when you are standing outside and looking inwards towards your Strata landed homes. So the photo you see right now also shows how the second floor of units in this row appear from the point of view from an onlooker from the open field. Of course, this field is currently listed in the latest 2019 URA master plan as an unzoned reserve site. The size and location of land lends itself well, I think, to a high-rise housing or school development. Regardless, I think any development could further compromise the privacy of this Strata unit, since the master rooms here are equivalent to being at ground level. So that's just a small setback for you to take note of. The living room, master room, junior master, it has a more southern exposure, whereas the kitchen and other bedrooms are located at the opposite end of the Strata terrace. It has a more northern facing. Living room by itself, in particular, it will face a retaining wall just meters away from the balcony. So the source of natural light will be from a large rectangular skylight on the roof. More on that when we talk about the unit layout. The northern aspect of the southwest row units, they do not offer much of a view either, except for a narrow garden water feature located between the Strata terraces and block 22. So take note that the northern facade of units number 12, 12A, 14, they are within a 10 meters distance from block 22's residential units. Let's talk about the southeast row, which is number 46 to 54. The quieter facing for this row is northwestern aspect, which also offers units 52A to 64 direct views of the condo's 67 meters long sanctuary pool, which we think is a plus point. The main facade of the units right here, they have a more southeastern aspect, which means that the living room, junior master bedroom, they have varying degrees of exposure to the main road, which is Yio Chu Kang Road, with the cluster of existing properties offering perhaps some buffer. Units 50 and 50A, 52, they are all sold. These units, they have pocket views of the main pool. Now let's go to the unit layout and the floor plan. So for the balanced Strata terrace units at Affinity at Serangoon, two main layout types are available. These are mainly the 5-bedroom. Floor plan type is SL2A, 3-story, 2,300 plus square feet. Available variants are SL2AB, SL2AC. These are the corner terraces. For southwest row units number 10 to 16A, these are the SL2B, 5-bedroom, 3-story, and of course slightly larger at about 2,325 square feet. available variants will be SL2B, the corner terrace. Now, the difference between SL2A and SL2B is just down to a single variation, which is the bottom level PES in the SL2A is approximately about 40% larger than SL2B. So in our unit layout analysis, we refer to the 5-bedroom, 3-story SL2A layout for convenience sake. So let's go into the unit. So starting from the bottom level, one thing to point out is that although the official floor plan lists this level as the basement 1, which is the only part of the unit is being considered below ground, the most obvious being the private car park underneath landscape deck. But because of differences in ground height, the junior master room on the same level has an open air PES. So with the exception of units number 52A to 64, the height differences between the strata terraces and the land that's outside the condo will mean that the junior master bedroom will have no view other than the condo's retaining perimeter wall. So that is of course one of the setbacks that we noticed. But that said, considering the absence of a private lift, it makes sense to include on the same level as the sheltered car park and ensuite bedroom to accommodate those with mobility issues. So I think that's also well thought out. So moreover, both bed and bathroom are deliberately proportioned to allow a wheelchair to move around with ease. At the basement level, there's also ample space for storage of items such as your tools, bicycles, including a porch area between car park lots and of course the front door. I think that's ideal for things you don't want to bring into the home, a household shelter and under-stairs storage. Talking about staircase, that leads up from the foyer to the first level. Of course, the first level is where a living room is located. You arrive at a rather hidden position between the common bath and bedroom, but the entrance can nonetheless be ultra grand thanks to an architectural masterstroke in the form of a skylight and void area above the dining area, and that looks really cool. Now of course, the skylight ushers in large amounts of natural light in the daytime. The future owner can also construct a dramatic 7 meters tall feature wall if you wish to. Of course, if you choose a corner terrace unit, this wall becomes a massive window. So with a roughly 6-meter wall-to-wall width that's akin to non-strata landed inter-terraces, which are the pure landeds, the first story floor space is spacious enough to enable you to tweak the layout according to your individual and family lifestyle preferences. The squarish living area is also highly functional, especially for multi-generational family gatherings, and the kitchen is rather compact though for a 5-bedroom unit. Although this is compact, we think it's still highly functional in terms of layout and storage, comfortably fitting 2 cooks in the same kitchen. Plus it opens up to a very useful rear PES, and of course in certain units that offers quite a soothing view of the sanctuary pool. The gate from the PES also makes it easy to access the condo facilities for your kids. And of course the second flight of stairs from the living room, it will then take you up to the second and of course the topmost floor of this strata terrace. And that's where your ensuite master bedroom is located alongside 2 common bedrooms and 1 common bathroom. Total of 400 square feet with about 3.95 meters of ceiling height. The size of the master room, I think it resembles an actual landed property in terms of its spaciousness. Space is further enhanced by the usage of clear glass for the walls that border the void area. I think this design allows light from the skylight to filter into your bedroom. However, it also requires then the occupant to install extra curtains for privacy in order to keep the light out. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You want that open feel, bright kind of concept. It sure looks modern and aesthetic, but at the same time you have to definitely do some level of curtain screens and stuff like that for privacy. In terms of the size of the master room, it must however be pointed out that the ensuite bath is only slightly larger than the common bathroom. It's not an extremely huge one, so that's just a little bit to take note. Here, a separate shower bathtub would certainly have made a welcome addition, but there's no. And also the windows only reach about 2/3 of the ceiling height, which is about 2.6 meters. So meanwhile, the second common bathroom, the second story, they are decent in size. They can comfortably fit in a queen bed, ample space for side tables. Also worth noting is that a glass divider is what separates the second story corridor out from the void area. So while this is a win in terms of style, families with young children might want to replace this with a more sturdy, reassuring kind of option such as a concrete parapet or metal railing. Overall, I think the unit layout of the strata terraces at Affinity at Serangoon, it offers ample space in the areas where large families need it the most. So I think it's smart in terms of layout planning. The living and dining areas, these are the main focal point of the strata houses right here. In other places such as the master room and above average square footage, it also gives the space in the master a landed feel. Especially when you are paying for it, I think you deserve a better sized master room. Appliances, fittings and floorings, let's talk a little bit about that. So at Affinity at Serangoon, appropriate standard. It has a suite of European branded kitchen appliances by Bosch, sanitary fittings, Grohe, Mitsubishi, wall-mounted air conditioning, quite similar to riverfront residences as well. Also similarly, digital lock set by Yale, quartz kitchen countertops are pretty standard. Flooring-wise, porcelain tiles are standard for the living and dining areas. Timber strips will flush your bedrooms. So of course, at the same time, pretty similar to riverfront residences, Oxley has also committed to a year of complimentary shuttle service from Affinity to Serangoon MRT. Now let's look at some of the alternatives if you are trying to compare some alternative choices to buying Affinity at Serangoon. So of course, the 3-story Strata Terrace is the only unit type at Affinity to offer 5 bedrooms. Buyers with large families who still want to buy into this project, they can also settle for the 4 bedrooms normal condo apartment units in the residential towers. Something to take note is that in Garden Residences, which is the other new launch which is beside Affinity, the 5 bedroom units are also all fully sold out. So while the Strata Terrace units at Affinity, they are doing their best to emulate the feel of landed living, the fact is that the development is located near the landed Serangoon Garden and Coven landed residential areas. It is then logical that we proceed to compare some of the prices here with the recent pure landed property transactions nearby, so that it's better and easier to discern what are the options as a buyer's point of view. So let's have a look at Affinity at Serangoon versus some of the landed terrace houses at Serangoon Gardens Estate. In terms of comparison, you can have a look at this table. While per square foot prices are higher for Strata Terrace units at Affinity at Serangoon compared to new built freehold pure landed properties, this is understandable because when we compare, it will be easier to compare in terms of quantum pricing rather than per square foot pricing, because for pure landed, we look at the land per square foot, whereas for Strata landed, we look at the build-up area because there's essentially no land per square foot kind of calculation. So in any case, when we look at the quantum of Affinity at Serangoon Strata Terrace, this will be in, of course, a more affordable range because the overall quantum is lower than the majority of landed homes in Serangoon Garden Estate, which are predominantly freehold and 999 years leasehold. So this is of course 99 years Strata, and of course if we compare with the freehold ones, these are all already above the $3 million or $3.5 million range, which is a little bit out of reach for some entry-level families that are trying to get more space, more bedrooms. A good comparison would then be for a pure landed category right here, which is 99 years in status compared with the 99 years Strata housing at Affinity Serangoon. So we can look at this stretch of pure landed 99 years properties at House at Serangoon, with POP in the year 2016 thereabout. Of course, that is within the Serangoon Garden landed enclave. Of course, when you compare in terms of quantum pricing of these two, that will then give you a sense of whether should you go for the resale at House at Serangoon, because there are definitely some units for sale right now in the resale market. And of course, that is pure landed category, 99 years in status, also in Serangoon Garden enclave, without facilities because these are all pure landed. And of course, the key difference in some of our episodes is that over at Strata housing, you have to pay maintenance fee, but in exchange of the fact that you enjoy all the facilities within the same condo, you also enjoy having the MCST to maintain the entire project for you. What you have to do is that you have to take care of your unit internally. Of course, when you own a pure landed, you have to take care of the entire land that is owned by you, plus the entire structure, interior and exterior as well. But of course, in exchange, you don't have to pay for the monthly MCST fees. So different pros and cons, different preferences. It depends on whether you want facilities or don't need facilities. But this will be a good gauge to have a look at the two price ranges of 99 years Strata versus 99 years pure landed within about the same enclave area. So with that, we'll sum up Affinity at Serangoon, and this is the second project that we're reviewing in part 1 of District 19 cluster strata units that developers are still selling right now. The next episode, we will be talking about Parkwood Collection, also in District 19 in the Hougang vicinity. So stay tuned with us and take care.